Hello everyone. Today I came up with showing the two Lowe's towers and their beacon malfunction history. But later on today I was skating and I was just having fun. And then later on I started thinking I want to make that video today after skating and all that. And then eventually I was just like, you know what? Well, actually, on the car ride back front to home, well, back home was I was just like, you know what? Maybe I should include all towers with beacons. So yeah, so there's that. Now then, that's So yeah, I'm going to show all beacon malfunction histories with all the towers in Rolla that have beacons. We're starting it off with the Walmart tower. All right, so this tower used to have an FH09. There's only one malfunction that I really know of, and I do remember it as well. Back in like 2012 or I don't remember when this happened, but it was during my childhood, like it was like early 2010s. Basically, the malfunction, the beacon wouldn't flash, but the markers were actually working. It did that for that entire week, I think. And then the next week, I think, well, since I was just a little kid, then it felt like it felt like a long time, even if it was only a week or something. And this is my favorite tower. I'm just like, no, no, beacon, don't stop working. I want you to flash. So yeah, it was something. So yeah, but eventually the FH09 started flashing it again. Now that malfunction happened a long time ago, and I'm now remembering a second malfunction, and I actually recorded this malfunction too. Alright, there's one time where me and my dad went to Dairy Queen at night, and when we were coming home, I seen the tower, and I seen the area where the tower is, and I didn't see any red lights going flashing or anything like that. And I was just like, oh, it's not, the beacon's not working. So yeah, I recorded it, and I'm pretty sure I I just this is this is early in 2021, like January or February or something. But I think January this happened. Its LED was not working, and the markers weren't working either. So yeah, the entire beacon flash system, beacon system was completely off. Wasn't flashing at all or anything. Those are the only two malfunctions I know of with this tower. Alright, now it's time for the two Lowe's towers. Usually I would start off with this one, but I mean, usually I won't, but you guys probably would expect me to start off with the second Lowe's tower since it's my second favorite tower. But just to go in order, I'm going to start off with the first one. All right, so there's only like two beacon malfunctions that I know of from this tower. So back in the days when I had this FH08 on day mode, it'll flash like three times and it'll skip like two flashes or something around that. So it'll flash three times and then it'll just pause and then it'll flash three times again. I think it would just skip one or two flashes, I think. But it didn't do this on night mode. Night mode was normal. So yeah. And then after its beacon replacement, the LED had problems too. I remember and the reason why is because here I'll tell you before I tell you the reason why and stuff. So basically, its white only LED is so dim, Back then, it was so dim that back then, oh, and the way it flashed too, I thought the FH08 was stuck on night mode all that time, but eventually I came to realize that it was an LED. So yeah, some days this the beacon would be unbearably dim, and then other days it'll be unbearably bright. So that tells me that it would be stuck on night mode, because how dim it is. Even on overcast days, it would still be dim. But usually, the time when it'll actually be on day mode would be overcast days and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe it's just sunlight or something. But I believe that it would always be stuck on. That would usually go. That would be. I just like to believe that it would usually just be on night mode. So yeah, it's sadly a crappy LED. I don't know what to expect anymore. It's a crappy LED, so I would expect malfunctions because crappy LEDs suck. This tower's lucky to not have a white and red crappy LED. It has a good day mode and good night mode, because they're basically the same. They have the same flash rate, but the night mode's dimmer than the day mode. So yeah, that's all the beacon malfunctions I know of that tower. Now to the second Lowe's tower. Alright, so there's a few malfunctions I know of from this tower. Or maybe two, or I don't know. Oh wait, no, there's three. There's three malfunctions with the second Lowe's tower. So the first malfunction, there's one. Wait, there's four, I think. Yeah, four or something. Four malfunctions. So I'm going to name off all the ones I know of. Alright, so the first malfunction, this here was a memorable malfunction. Basically, the day mode on the dual strobe just completely shut off. So basically, the dual strobe turned into a night mode only beacon. So it would not flash at day, it would only flash at night. That lasted for like 2 or 3 days. And then it went back to normal day mode, night mode stuff. The second malfunction, the beacon and markers just completely shut off. It stayed like that for 1 or 2 or a few days, I would think. I don't remember how many days, but the beacon actually did die once, but it started flashing again. Don't worry. And then this here's the most recent malfunction. Wait, I said four. I really don't remember why I said four. I can only think of three: the night mode only malfunction, the complete dead malfunction, and then the most recent one. It's basically the most recent malfunction is the early, like, well, around January 2020 to like May, or no, like June or July of 2020. From all that time, the markers on the tower completely died. At that time, I thought I would never see the tower with its working markers ever again. I thought they were completely shut off for some reason. And that lasted, I believe, until June or July, somewhere around summer. It started in, or maybe, I think it might have started around the end of December 2019. If not, then it started very, very, very early on in January 2020. But yeah, that's the most recent malfunction. Sadly, I never seen this tower on backup night mode. That's one thing I really want to see on this tower before it ever gets an LED. But it probably won't, because this LED. I mean, this dual strobe this dual strobe outright refuses to go on emergency night mode, or I should say a correct emergency night mode. You know why? Because I had a dream that in the second Lowe's Towers, and was in a dream too. Basically, it was flashing. It was on its normal day mode, flashing white at its normal flash rate and stuff. And then it went to its red night mode, and the markers came on too, like normal. Everything was normal except for one thing. The night mode was flashing like an FH08 on quick flash night mode. That was only a dream though. And then I had another dream where I actually seen this on emergency night mode, but it wasn't a correct emergency night mode because it was quick flash. Emergency night modes on dual strobes are medium flash, somewhere in between quick and slow flash. So yeah, it can only be found on dual strobes, and maybe 2000, maybe FG 2000s, if you consider those to be not slow enough to be called slow night mode. But those have two night modes, just like the FH08, quick flash and slow flash, something like that. So yeah, but that's all the malfunctions. Only two of them are not real, while the others are real. But I still don't know what the fourth one is. I completely forgot the fourth one. I don't remember. I don't remember this being stuck on day mode at all. So that can't be the case. But I don't remember. I just need to think about it through the making of this video. All right, so this is a power line blocking somewhat the top of the tower. Let's move to the highway. There, I think that's better. No, that's not. I know the perfect spot. I'm going to an apartment complex where I actually filmed this tower on night mode back in January 2020. All right, so this tower here, the only malfunction that I know of from this tower is still currently going on. It's still current on. It's still going on as we speak right now. Basically, the FH08 on the tower is completely dead for the time being. It has not flashed since February this year. It's been dead for here, I need to count. For almost 3.5 months. Cause I'm pretty sure the first time I ever seen the beacon shut off and stuff was like in the middle of February. I need to check. Alright, I checked. It was the video was filmed February 20, so it stopped working 2 quarters into February. So yeah, it's been dead for like 2 quarters of a month and 2 full months and almost 3 quarters of May. So yeah, it's been dead for a long time now. Nobody has done a thing. It's pretty dangerous because the hospital is right over there, and there's a helicopter landing pad there as well. Helicopters come around this area every day to land on that pad because it's a hospital. They need to those are used for emergencies and stuff. People always come out of them and stuff. So and there's patients in there as well. So I heard so many stories of helicopters and planes running into towers with dead beacons because they're too tall to have dead beacons. They need to work and stuff. So yeah, so they should really do something about this beacon problem because what if a helicopter crashes into this tower? That people can get seriously hurt and most of the time they die too, because in helicopters they especially they'll die because the helicopter would crash in a tower. It'll spin around and hit the ground and explode. So yeah, people in there, they're completely dead. So it's pretty dangerous. They need to do something about the beacon. So that's the only malfunction I know of, and yes, I do count it as a malfunction because I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be permanent. I think it's just going to be something temporary. This one's going to be a little bonus because you'll see why I consider this to be a bonus. Remember this radio tower? It has markers. The markers have been shut off sadly. It's not a malfunction because it's permanent, but I just wanted to tell you all because this has some sort of lighting on it. Alright, so this here is some new highway patrol tower. There's only one malfunction There's only one malfunction from that I know of from this tower. It's the most basic malfunction too. One day, and my family were going to school and work, except for my dad. But we dropped off my mom before school and stuff, which we don't do anymore, sadly. But um, it was like early morning, so well, actually, no, it was actually the sun was out, but it was an overcast day, so the beacon was still on night mode, but it was not flashing red. Yep. It was on backup night mode. Yeah, that was the first time I ever seen it on backup night mode. That was a long time ago. I think that was when I was in middle school or something. So yeah, that happened a long time ago. So yeah, that's the only malfunction I know of from this tower, I think. Yeah, I think that might be the only malfunction I know of from this tower. As for the old highway patrol tower, I don't know. I don't recall ever seeing the. I don't recall ever seeing the old school incandescent ever malfunctioning. So yeah, this town. So yeah, the beacon, as I know of, never malfunctioned, but like, but back in one of the final years of the tower's life, uh, the the beacon and markers were shut off, and back then I was just like, why do that? But now after seeing the Fox TV tower duel at night and how they're the same height and they're very close together, and also Eric Pepe told me that towers with beacons are really close to taller towers with beacons too are usually shut off because the other one's taller. Um, so yeah, but in this case, the old one's taller than the new one. So why did they not? Why did they keep the other one off? Well, I mean, why do they still shut it off? I don't know. But there's one time where I was on the highway at night and I seen the bottom set of markers. I only seen one marker on, only one. And that was it. That was the last time I ever seen any light on the tower ever work in my life. So yeah, that's one thing, but it doesn't count as malfunction because the beacon's kind of shut off. All right, so we got another bonus here. It's the smaller KZN tower that actually belongs to three other radio stations too. Basically, it has an old school incandescent with one set of side markers on it, but they were both shut off because the tower is literally only 2 feet from being 200 feet tall. Like it's 198 or 199 feet tall, something somewhere around that. But it's just still not tall enough, I guess. FAA doesn't like when small towers have beacons, so they were shut off. But that's not a malfunction. It's just a little bonus for all the people who care. Thanks, FAA from the 90s. That's a horrible decision they made. I wish that they could have made that choice when I was older, like an adult or something, like a middle-aged man, so I wouldn't have to really care because the tower would probably be dead. Well, all small towers with incandescents that were shut off because of the 90s, that new rule change that they made in the 90s, they will all be dead, so I wouldn't care then. So yeah, I would have a childhood of seeing small towers with beacons working. I still do, but they're rare because we don't live close to that many airports. All right, so here's this. This is a red and white, a red and white, red and white cell tower. It used to, you already know what this one is. This here's a good old red and white tower and red and white and monopole tower duel. So, yeah, the red and white tower back then it used to have an old school incandescent beacon. The only malfunction I know of from this tower is back when the incandescent would flash, it would flash normally, or no, it wouldn't actually flash normally. It'll flash at a fast rate. It would uh you know The beacon would flash like this, but still, it was much faster than this. So, yeah, it was similar to this flash, but it was still flasher. But I mean, it was still faster. Here, let me show you. Well, let me tell you guys how it was by sound. So basically, it was like something like that. So yeah, that's how fast it flashed. It would do that for a few minutes. This I believe this is a malfunction, but this is also an incandescent mode that you can put an incandescent beacon in. The beacon would go stationary for a few minutes. Yep, it will go stationary like a marker, and then it will start flashing again. It did that over and over and over again. It did that for all I know of from the days when it actually had an incandescent beacon. So yeah, that's the only malfunction I know of because in 2016 the beacon was replaced by an old school night mode only old school LED. And so far, I don't recall any malfunctions from that LED. All right, so this tower here has I seen it malfunction like 4 times, I think. So so yeah, the only malfunctions that I ever seen is backup night mode. Yep, I seen this tower go on backup night mode a long time ago. I think like 2014 or 15. I don't know, but I didn't know what backup night mode was at the time. So at the time when I seen it, basically I was look at this. Look, you just hate it when you're trying to find the perfect spot to view something, and then look at this. Look at. No worries, I found the perfect spot. So basically, um, I think me and my dad were doing something, and we were at this hill here where you're able to see those two the red and white tower and monopole duel, and in the middle you're able to see that one tower we just looked at from the distance, and I seen it only flashing white, and I was just like, what? It's flashing white at night. It's supposed to shine red though. Why is it doing that? Yeah, and since I was little as well, I thought it was just the beacon was replaced with a FH8, and even after seeing that, I even drew a picture of the tower. Basically, I drew the tower with a white dot on it, and then I drew just a white dot on another piece of paper to show it at night because you can't see the tower itself at night. You can only see the beacons. So yeah, I was just like, I can't believe it will for now. I can't believe it'll shine white for now, forever, I guess. But the next day, I found out that it still that it was shining red again. So I was just like, oh, okay, okay. And there goes my excitement. But I didn't really care about beacon changes or beacon replacements or any change really. I was really excited for them. Not anymore. No, I'm too used to them. I'm too used to them. They can't change. No, so first time I seen it go on emergency night mode. The second time I seen it go on emergency night mode is I don't remember the second time, but there's also a third time where I seen it, and this time I filmed it. If you don't remember when that was, it was like the very beginning of May 2020. So yeah, that was right before the second Indiana arc started. So yeah, me and my family went to this park at night just to hang around, and I seen the tower. I seen a glimpse of a tower, up the tower. I mean, and it was still flashing white, but it was at the slow rate. I was just like, what? It's back on emergency night mode. But yeah, but I couldn't tell because of how trees blocked it right after. But eventually, when we left, I was just like, "Oh, holy crap! It's on emergency night mode." I was just like, I was just like, "Mom, Dad, we need to park somewhere so I can film it." So we parked somewhere, and I filmed it on emergency night mode. The fourth time I seen it on emergency night mode was the weirdest out of all four. I was with my friend. It was my friend's birthday, so we were at his house, and we just hung out until dark. So yeah, we're just there, and then all the friends and stuff and family left. So it was only me, him, and his mom at the house now. And this little kid knocked on the door and just like, hey, well, he's just like, hey, can you guys please take me home? I don't know what happened to this kid, but he was in tears, and and we're just like, hey, what happened? He's just like, I went to the dollar store, and I don't think I'm supposed to be actually not. He said he went to the dollar store, and I don't really remember what else he said. I don't really know why he was crying either. I don't know what happened, but my friend offered my friend offered to take him home, and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go out there too. So I just hang out with him and see the night sky and everywhere else at night and stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to walk, just to feel a little sense of freedom since my parents wouldn't let me do anything like that. So but eventually the kid the kid's parents found him. So yeah, we didn't do that, but my friend still wanted to walk somewhere. So me and him went to the creek, and be, and I seen the tower, because you're able to see this tower from a tiny hole in a tree from a distance, because his house is somewhat close to the highway. So I seen this tower on night mode. It was flashing red like it was supposed to. But eventually, when we walked further down the road. We started walking down the road to the creek, and I seen the tower again. And guess what? It was on emergency night mode. Yep, I could tell by the medium flash, and it was white as well. And you're just like, I bet some people who are new to the channel will be like, but what if there's another tower close to this area that only shines white? Well, I lived here since 2004, since 2004. So, I can definitely tell you there is no tower in this area that only shines white. I mean really close to this area. The closest one is just the first Lowe's tower. It's just somewhere down there. But it's not it wasn't close enough for me to see it in this area. So yeah, it was undoubtedly this tower, because the next closest tower that had a strobe, or at this time LED, um the next tower that could shine white was all the way down there, so you wouldn't be able to see it. And then and you guys probably be like, but what if it was what if it was one of the two Lowe's towers? No, it wasn't, because you can see those two towers. They weren't being blocked by trees like all the others. So yeah, those were in clear view. So yep, this tower was it. So far, I have not seen the tower on emergency night mode. I haven't seen it on emergency night mode since. Alright, guys, this here's the first tower on the list that I've never seen malfunction before. So you all know this tower. This tower is one of the three clones. It's I mean, this there's two clones of this tower. One in St. James, and yes, I consider that to be a clone, because kind of looks the same. And then there's another one far away from here. It's very close to St. Louis. But yeah. So this tower used to have a dual strobe, but now has a modern LED. Surprisingly, it has stationary markers. Isn't that rare? Yeah. At that time, I seen it as normal, but now that I see it, I'm just like, holy crap! This tower's lucky to not have flashing sign markers. So yeah. But other than that, I don't remember this tower ever malfunctioning. Next. Alright, so this tower here has two sets of it has two sets of night mode only LEDs with markers too. And guess what? No malfunction. I don't ever recall ever seeing the beacons malfunctioning on this tower. So yeah, this is the second tower to not have any to have the second tower to have working beacons and they never malfunctioned. Isn't that nice? No, it isn't, because it would be nice to see at least one malfunction from these beacons. All right. Last tower. Oh, that's a horrible view. It's a good old microwave tower. As you can see, it has two microwave dishes on it, and I think it might have more things on it, but I'm not too sure. This tower, I believe it has a modern incandescent, or maybe it has an old school incandescent with one set of markers. The reason why I think it has an incandescent is the reason why I think it has an old school the reason why I think it has a modern incandescent is because it only has one set of side markers. Most of the time, old school incandescents usually come with two sets of markers in my area, and this tower doesn't. I always believed this tower has an old school incandescent, but now I'm starting to really I'm starting to think that it has a modern incandescent. But this here's the third tower with a working beacon to not have any malfunction history. So yeah, good for this tower. But it would be nice to see a malfunction from this. But it is incandescent because it's incandescent. The only malfunctions I know of from this beacon is the the incandescent could just completely shut off. It could go steady. Well, stationary, just like that one tower where that monopole is, or the markers could shut off, or the markers would be on while the beacon would not flash at all. Those are the only malfunctions. Those are the only malfunctions I know of from incandescents. So yeah, that's going to conclude this list, because that's all the towers in Rolla that have beacons. I guess. I think Yeah, that's it. So yeah, all the others are beaconless. Most of them are monopoles as well. So yeah, there's that. See you guys later. Bye.